one, they had a vision. They were looking and they were adapting their program to this vision in what they were going to do with the education sector. So to me, that is very important, looking at the future where Nigeria wants to be. Secondly, I think that we need to quantify, to set quantitative targets, make them available for everybody, and align resources to this target. You don't disburse if you don't have results. We saw this morning that the experience that has been done in Lagos, which allowed them to go from 18% pass rate to 41% in 3 years, is quite significant. Imagine if you replicate that in the 36 states. You will have fixed actually secondary school in Nigeria in about, I would say, 6 years. So that is really aligning the resources, target, and clarify the vision.
Udom. I fully agree with her, but we also need to continue asking tough questions. One of the things we've done within the last 7 years of setting up this foundation is to get professionals to adopt schools, secondary schools in the state, probably your alma mater or a community secondary school, and begin to mentor the kids. That way, you are directly influencing the kids, you are working with the principal and the teachers, you are understanding their challenges, and because of the leverage we have, we can actually interface with major stakeholders in government, the governor, the commissioner, the permanent secretary. So all of us must step up and play a role.
School will help. Joseph, last word.
Last but one. I think, for me, I think we said it's critical that the people that run those two ministries are people who have political will to do the things that are needed. And we, as citizens, both as parents or students or community leaders or whatever, we must participate in management of schools. And we must be able to put our voice there. It's important as a quick fix to solving some of the problems we have today.
Yes, Gori, any last word from you?
I think the last thing that I would probably mention is something that we've already mentioned, but we mustn't forget as we leave this building. We can't really see the outcomes that we're looking for until we devolve responsibility for outcomes to the people who actually drive this process. And I'm speaking about teachers, but also head teachers and school-based management committees who give us a chance to really drive, they drive the performance that we're looking for.
Excellent. Sarah, any ideas to Nigeria on how to measure outcomes?
Measurement is important, evidence is important. And I think let us look for non-traditional ways of looking for certain information that will help us grow. Because one of the things we have used, which we find very interesting, is radio. And from radio, citizens have pointed us to head teachers who are doing amazing work. Head teachers who have taken the common things like the school management committees and made them more creative to solving their issues. So I think sometimes when we sit here, we forget that, or we underestimate that there's a lot of creativity going out there. I think those are the simple solutions that are working there that should be brought to the center and to make it now grow.
Thank you very much. Permanent Secretary, you've heard it all, and we have great expectations that things will change.
Yes, I totally believe that things will change. And, in such a fora, government is put on the spot.
Yes.
But I want to assure you that there are people in government that believe that things should be done differently. And they are totally committed to changing the way things have been going on, things were done before. We need to add value to what we are doing. And I belong to government. The issue of the leadership of the Federal Ministry of Education and the leadership of the Federal Ministries of Health, like we said, that's a political decision. But I think we have good managers of education that can be placed to head these ministries, and they can perform. And like we said earlier yesterday, the president is coming from the education sector. He used to be a teacher. And I believe that currently, Nigeria has the political will to do things differently. And I believe seriously that accountability cuts across. For instance, can we hold the classroom teacher responsible? Can we hold the principal responsible? Even as parents, what role do we have to play in terms of ensuring that things are done properly? These are questions that we must ponder and we must find solutions to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is very refreshing listening to the Permanent Secretary. I must say that he has taken almost like an outsider view to what needs to be done in the ministry. I thank the panelists for this wonderful engagement, but I must recap a few things. That this summit is really at the heart of Nigeria. Fixing our education sector is at the heart of our competitiveness, it's at the heart of our growth, and a few words have come out of here. We need a clear vision of where we want our education to be, and this vision must be aligned with our country's hopes and aspirations. We need to devolve powers. I want to use this word instead of autonomy. But I think that in devolving powers, we need to hold them accountable. You can't hold accountable the person that doesn't have responsibility. We need to match two resources, accountability and responsibility. We need to improve the inspectorate division of the Federal Ministry of Education. I hear that loud and clear. We need to invest in it. One of the things I find interesting in Nigeria is that we are quick to talk about our numbers. By 2025, we will be this million. By 2050, we'll be bigger than the United States. Have we also planned that the people in the inspectorate unit has to be large enough to manage 300 million people? So we need to think about that. We need to go back, as the Permanent Secretary have said, and review the laws of these regulatory bodies. Are they what it should be in today's world? And I must leave you with a key message. This has been done in other countries. Poland had, within a space of 6 years, transformed the education sector, moving back from a poor PISA score to top scorers in PISA tests. And they did it by careful, articulated methods, which we can copy. It's been done. Malaysia is currently doing it. They've done the international assessment. And I think the Ministry of Education should register Nigeria to do the international assessment, the PISA test, so that we can rate where Nigeria stands in relation to other countries. I also believe firmly that we need to go back from this summit and advise government to look back at these regulatory agencies, look back at our vision, and make sure we hold those running it accountable. Thank you very much. And
well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the panelists will remain where they are. We'll just take a few announcements. But let me just say this before I invite the Director General, that the country rep of the World Bank talked about she being in the Senate of our secondary school. Tomorrow, the children met me during lunch and wrote a letter to you parents. They said, for 2 days, we have listened to all of you. He said, mommies, daddies, uncles, aunties, can you do us a favor by being here at 9 a.m. tomorrow to listen to us? They're going to be here tomorrow morning to talk to all of you. They're upstairs, they're listening. Let me just tell you that they love you down here. Dinner will come to you. Don't leave the gallery, please. DJ, please come to the microphone.
You already made the announcement. Fantastic. I mean, thank you very much to this panel. Very robust conversation, very wonderful moderation, useful insights. Thank you very much. Just to inform you that dinner is at 7 p.m. It's our closing dinner. You won't be here tomorrow night. And so we would really urge everyone to please be here on time. We had a lot of food that literally went to waste last night. So please come here at 7 and have dinner. It's free, you don't have to pay. And I hope that will encourage you. But more importantly, please, 9 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to have this session with the children. It's also the closing session. You have an opportunity to hear the outcomes from the various sessions, and therefore at least a high-level summary of the recommendations that will go to government. So please, let's be back here in another 45 minutes for dinner, and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for the opening, for the session with the children, and then the presentation of the summit summary, and of course the recommendations to Nigeria's government. Thank you very much. I believe the Honorable Minister of National Planning, the Chairman of the Board of the NESG, and should please come up and have a quick photo with this panel.
Well, as we all prepare for tomorrow morning, let me also inform you that Mr. Jim O'Neill, the former chairman, Goldman Sachs Asset Management, will be delivering the keynote address. Professor Jubrila Amin, Vice Chancellor of Federal University, Duse, is here. I have a letter for you.
The last words from the Director General of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Mr. Frank Nweke Jr., at the closing session of the 20th Nigerian Economic Summit for today. And we had panelists offering key suggestions and insights into addressing Nigeria's education challenges. You've been watching the broadcast of this final session for today of the Nigerian Economic Summit, live on Channels Television. In just a moment, we'll be returning to our Lagos studio for the rest of our programming. Do stay tuned.
Nigerian Economic Summit holds a